closing that gap between the way that you treat the people you love and the way that you treat yourself can actually be something that's on your radar throughout the day. Rather than seeing it as this like seismic shift you have to be part of, you can just say, okay, from the moment I wake up, I'm going to treat myself the way I would treat a guest in my home. And you find yourself all of a sudden thinking, oh, I put ice in my water. Or I'm going to treat my body the way that I want my child to treat theirs today. And all of a sudden you notice, oh, I just took the stairs. Or I forgave that person. I didn't let that person who bumped into me ruin my day. And it's about closing that gap and noticing that it's not that difficult to do so. And also noticing that very often we give better advice to the people we love. We give common sense advice to the people we love. And if you come back to that definition of kindness, if somebody came to you, a person who you love, and said, I'm really struggling with this plan of change. I want to create these new habits and this new routine, and I've fallen off track, and I don't believe in myself. And your task was to get them back on track. Just generally, what sort of things would you say to them?
You can do it. You basically, we all fall off track.
Right.
Look at the good parts that you did about it. You've made progress. What did it's not all undone. You can probably make a couple of more steps. I'm going to be there next to you and they hold your hand.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I know where you're going with this.
You do, but no, wait.
You're framing me.
Even if you didn't love that person, let's say I gave you 100 grand and you needed to motivate that person, you'd say the same thing. You wouldn't say, oh, just like your teacher said when you were 10, you're the kind of person who starts things and doesn't finish them. You're a useless waste of space. You should start on Monday because things can only begin on Monday. See, it's not even common sense. So when it's the people we love, kindness gets defined as not telling them to throw in the towel. It's reminding them of their capacity to do something difficult and your belief in their capacity to get what means most to them long term. And their worthiness to do so. That's what that's based on. And, the first 500 times I did that exercise, because one exercise, which is really nice if you want to do this in the spirit of passing things on, just write down the things you would say to someone you love, put their name at the top. And when you're done, cross their name out and put your own name there.
That's tricky. That's devious.
And then just notice, honestly, just tell yourself for 1 week, I'm going to treat myself the way I would treat the person I love most. And if I hear myself saying something unkind, I'm not going to, this whole replacing it kind of bothers me a little bit because I think it does a disservice to how difficult so many people find that. But I do think there's a debate to be had. There's an update. Is this even true? That's something because I've changed so much and I've done so much to help myself now. And I've changed also in the way that the world perceives me over and over and over again, physically and in all sorts of other ways. What I would do if I were you is to start thinking on a day-to-day basis, how would I treat my body if I was living in the body of the person I love most? How would I speak to them? What instructions would I take? And if you start noticing that there's a difference, just debate with it. Like, why don't I deserve to hear that? Or if you start noticing yourself saying things to yourself that you wouldn't dream of saying to someone else, they haven't come from nowhere. Have a think. Who uses this vocabulary? Where did this come from? When did I start? When did this become my default program? And can it be a jumping off point for me to debate with elements of my program that I no longer agree with or don't suit the landscape of my life or don't mean that help me to create behaviors that align with my values, whatever it might be? Where did this come from? Whose was it? And do they deserve to be informing my decisions at this stage of my life?